China and the United States have released a joint statement following their high-level talks in Geneva. The United States said it will suspend the 24 percentage points of additional tariffs imposed on Chinese imports on April the 2nd. This suspension will last for an initial period of 90 days. The U.S. will remove tariffs imposed on April the 8th and the 9th. China said it will also suspend 24% of additional tariffs on U.S. imports for an initial period of 90 days. China also said it will adopt all necessary measures to suspend or remove the non-tariff countermeasures taken against the U.S. since April the 2nd. The two sides will establish a mechanism to continue discussions about economic and trade relations. Now, for the very latest, CGTN's Ken Brown is joining us from Geneva. Ken, what are the highlights from the news conference by the U.S. side?
Yes, so we're standing outside the Intercontinental Hotel here in Geneva, where that press conference has just taken place, set to make global headlines. That follows a press conference from the Chinese delegation yesterday evening here in Geneva. Also, we heard from the Chinese lead and Vice Premier He Lifeng. He talked last night about how we were going to hear the details today. We've heard lots of positive statements, how there were positive talks, mutually respectful talks, how the atmosphere was very candid, and we were waiting for the details today. He Lifeng said that last night we were going to get some good news, and that's been the case. We've heard of reductions of 115% on the tariffs, effectively down to 30%, in some cases 10% for 90 days. As you mentioned, that's been stipulated in the joint statement from the both sides. Now, we heard also from He Lifeng that these discussions are going to continue over the next 90 days. Potentially, they will alternate between China and the United States or in a third party country, like they held them here in Switzerland, neutral territory. He Lifeng will continue to be the lead person in those negotiations, in those discussions for China. And on the American side, that will continue to be U.S. Trade Secretary Scott Bessent. So we heard a lot from them today. They took questions from reporters. We heard a very interesting question from Jameson Greer. He talked about how a relationship was built over a couple of days that would usually take a few months or even years. So very positive news coming out of here. We've heard how channels are open. A mechanism has been created to avoid unfortunate escalations like the one we've already seen. There was a very interesting question at the press conference. The question was, why didn't the United States start at this point? Why didn't we start from these discussions and negotiations rather than causing the kind of global turmoil that's been caused by the tariffs up to now? They rejected that. They said that this was a necessary step. But positive news from Geneva today. The lines of communication are open. The tariffs have been dropped. And for 90 days, we're going to see more negotiations to get to a deal between the two nations.